And as John Holmstrom said, we are running very late now, actually 16 minutes late. Over the past few years, Radio 3 has broadcast a series of pieces by the playwright Peter Barnes. Barnes's People 1 consisted of 7 monologues, Barnes's People 2, 7 duets. Now the series is concluded with Barnes's People 3, consisting, perhaps not surprisingly, of 7 trios and an epilogue. They'll be broadcast after the prom concerts for the next fortnight. We start with Sean Connery, John Hurt and Donald Pleasence in Peter Barnes's After the Funeral.
Max, it's too late for words. Too late for tears. Why doesn't anybody get out of life alive? She isn't living. And why not? If I had the power to make her, I would. I would. If I'd been with her then, 2:23 British Mean Time, I'd have caught her spirit as it left her body, but I wasn't there. Turned away for a second and her last heartbeat had gone. Missed my chance of having her with me always. I'm a poor, dumb brute, a swirl of quirks, a tap-dancing ghost. And she was jealous if the sunlight touched me. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Our love, that caused earthquakes in Panama and beyond. Others were covered with hatred like horse mange, but Anna was never corrupted. Now she rots under marble. What am I going to do now? Huh? Do now? I come back home, the house is empty. She's not here, the days are blank. 15 years together.
Yeah, you better have another drink. These are bad times for you, Harry. You're old when you get to my age. So I can tell you, Anna was the best. We all know how hard this life is on the nerves. But she never complained. I used to hold her up as an example to Betsy. You know, I was with Betsy all those years because I couldn't stand Sundays alone. But she was difficult. They all are. But Anna always had the right word for the occasion. One time Betsy went on about wanting to hear the patter of tiny feet. Anna told her to rent some mice.
She was like a mother to my 3 girls. They're more difficult when they're young. They want to be happy, so they're taken in by feelings. They would never have got started right without Anna. She worried about the way they were so loose with money. The most important thing for them is spending the stuff. I tried to argue with the back of my hand, but Anna said that wasn't the way. She talked to them. She had brains behind the paint. She had done the rounds, that little lady. How old was she? 33?
My mother died when she was 33. I remember coming home from school one day and she was missing. The woman next door said she'd gone to the ice house. That's what we used to call the isolation hospital. I never saw her again. I didn't go to visit her because I never liked hospitals, and anyway, I didn't especially feel like seeing her. Funny your Anna dying the same age as my mother.
No, she didn't. Anna was 49.
Oh.
It does her credit. She certainly knew how to hide her age.
She could have prolonged her working life years if she hadn't died.
She was RC, you know.
Huh?
Incense, wafers, being led by unmarried men in black dresses, sitting in boxes listening to other people's secrets, and believing wine can be turned into blood and bread into flesh. Anna believed them for her sake and resisted them for mine. She must have heard thousands of sermons against sin, and she stood firm. She was flint-soled against all the pleas and prayers.
Virtue's too icy cold for me. In this world, you've got to keep your tootsies warm. You can have all your holy rollers. As long as I empty my bowels regular of a morning, I'm fine.
One good thing. The dead don't hear church bells. Oh, It was a brutal business all round. Anna used to come away from those church sessions dripping with sweat. I think they had something to do with her dying. They cost her. But she paid. She said she'd suffer hell for my sake. And now she's gone. Not to hell, not Anna. Oh, too dark there for Anna. She liked bright lights, warm beds.
Her stockings were never crumpled and her get up and go never got up and went. What did she die of, Harry?
The booze. Doc Bellows said if she'd drunk water, she'd have lived till Judgment Day. But who'd want to live that long? She took the cure, but all she got was a skin as hard as crab apples. Aside from that, she was fine. If you don't count her teeth, they dropped out 2 years ago. It meant more meat for me, but it was unpleasant for her.
It just shows a woman doesn't have to be beautiful to be successful.
She had an inner beauty. Other people saw it too. That's why the clients came miles. God knows how many cheap away day tickets she must have sold for British Rail.
When you're young, good looks are everything. Later you need something else to make your mark. Anna had class. Sometimes she was almost regal.
That's why she was known as the Queen of the East Acton Red Light District.
Yeah. And she knew just how tough our job is. Most people think pimping is an easy touch. I do.
How can it be easy? We're on the go 24 hours a day. We're bodyguards, father confessors, husbands, lovers, agents. Never stops. A contented man sleeps contented. But I lay awake nights wondering what new regulations the vice squad's coming up with. All middle-class reform does is drive up the price of whoring so the working class can't afford it.
Definitely.
It's just one problem after another. The work involved marketing one successful prostitute is immense.
Yeah.
I should know. I used to be in advertising.
When I first got started as a pimping backdoor man, it was easier. I must have told you before. I was selling newspapers when Lily Tibbet asked me to hand out her calling cards, wham bam thank you ma'am, to any likely looking customers. She gave me a percentage of money earned from them. We got pally and I moved in as a chili pimp. Lily had friends and pretty soon I was running an 8-girl stable. I'd zazzle each of them twice a month and beat them up maybe every 3 to show I was still interested. That's all they expected.
Of course.
It's different now, Tom. I have to be tromboning every night of the week, and I'm only stabling 3.
When I was an ace, pimping was more of a cottage industry. We had time to enjoy the good things of life. I used to like dressing well in suit shirts, cravat, tie pin. I was togged to the bricks. Now I go around all day in floppy carpet slippers. There was money to be made, of course, but most of it vanished quicker than the pimps of yesterday. 6 rings, Charlie.
Oh.
Bosco County, Alhambra Jack
Oh,
Brody,
yes.
Jersey Newton, names,
Oh, yeah.
names, Max, names. They were pimping.
Yes.
Where are they now? Dope got Owl Rush and Sneedern. King Cress left town with a knife in his back. And Gus Moranti and Cairo George were all jailed, all clapped out, all bets off. I was careful when I was on the sunny side of Sugar Hill. I didn't dope, drink or gamble, so I'm more or less intact.
That side of Ponsing's got better. Less sporty. It's a business like any other, and it's best run by businessmen. The girls have got much worse, though. No sense of responsibility. I've never seen a flatbacker pick up a book, for example. I've told them books can teach you what to do and what not to say. I learnt from books you can be a ponce, prostitute, or journalist, only don't talk like one. You can do anything as long as you don't give yourself away. But nobody listens. I've given up on them. Nowadays, they're too lazy to even talk in their sleep.
It's always hard to get them off their behinds and onto their backs.
Well, Anna was never like that. She was a worker. That's how we met. I was taking a busman's holiday in Morocco. I was looking at the brothels, seeing if I could pick up any tips. They had a big reputation at the time. I went to Little Mama's in Casablanca. Well, you'd have been impressed, Max. They used a voucher system. Clients could buy a voucher from Little Mama, go upstairs with a flat backer of his choice, and pay her with the vouchers. The girls never saw money. And Anna was a star. Oh, did she work? 15 hours a day. 7 clients an hour. 1 every 4 minutes. She hardly left her room. Sometimes she was on her back till 4 in the morning. A 200 voucher a day girl was Anna. Now, that didn't mean 200 clients. Oh, no. One man could buy 4 or 5 vouchers, like me. That's how I managed to talk to her. Yeah, I found out that she was British and homesick. But she couldn't get free. Little Mama worked closely with the police, like all the madams. I remember looking at Anna and deciding, there and then, to help. You could call me a romantic, I suppose. You want out, I'll get you out. I felt like one of those knights in shining pants, rescuing a maiden from the dragon. Anna, she didn't believe me at first. And I grabbed her hand, took her downstairs with me. I told Little Mama straight, Anna was coming home with me. We're both British and proud of it. The old lady laughed. She wasn't going to let her best worker go just like that. She'd call the police. So I shot off her left kneecap. I was younger then. As she lay bleeding and moaning on the floor, I told her if she tried to stop us, friends of mine would come and finish the job. Well, Anna and me left hand in hand. Oh, I never regretted it. What started in blood ended in roses.
I never heard that story before, Harry.
A kiss is still a kiss. Da-dee-da-da-da-da. Oh, dear. That's why Casablanca was always our favourite movie. Oh, memories. Memories.
It just shows we're as sentimental as the next man. Yet Ponces always get a bad press.
Aye.
It's unfair. Girls without pimps are in deep holes open to all kinds of abuse. They can even be raped without being paid. We're not do-gooders, but we do good. We help regulate a violent profession.
Bananas! I never cared about that. So long as I ate well, drank well, slept warm and dry, and had money in my pocket and in my bank, I was doing 100, happy as a sandboy.
I never wanted to be happy, just rich and powerful. Which is the same thing, I suppose.
Happy. Don't talk to me about happy. That's buried out in Marble Town with her. What am I going to do now? I look around and I'm alone. Have you noticed? The poor don't walk like other people. They go hunched, zigzaggy against the wind. It's time to retire or get lost.
I'm the creaker, not you, Harry. I was 69 when I retired. I'd had a good innings, but I knew I couldn't keep it up anymore. But you've got years yet. You've taken a bad fall, but the trick is to get mounted again, and quick.
What are you saying? We've just had a cold meat party for Anna, and she's lying out there, all last debts paid.
You shouldn't be idle, Harry. It's the worst thing for you right now. You've got to be occupied.
I haven't got the heart for it.
The heart isn't involved.
Couldn't face starting up all over again.
I wish I had the chance. The spring promise of it all.
You know the work involved bringing an unknown flat backer up to standard. Most don't know the basics of good whoring. Clean linen and clean orifices. That's what we're selling. After all, I have a certain reputation. Anna and I were respected throughout British Vice. Our names were synonymous with quality whoring. That didn't happen overnight. How can I take some green kitten and make her into another First Lady of Bruttledom?
I'm sure you wouldn't have to do the full Pygmalion bit, Harry.
But I would. All 3 of us are upmarket flesh peddlers. We know clients aren't just paying for sex, They're shelling out for companionship, someone to listen to them, and maybe just to be seen with a well-dressed woman. I'll have to show her how to dress properly, the right bars, the right conversation.
It's a challenge, Harry. The girl would have to be a free floater, of course. Can't have her attached to a pimp or madam.
If they're any good, they wouldn't be allowed to float free. Besides, I'm no young flesh ace anymore. And who'd want a relic like me?
Come, Harry. No false modesty. You're an institution. We all learn from you. When I first came into the profession, you told me a whore's only as good as her pimp. Words of wisdom, Harry. Your kind of expertise can't be bought. You'll be snapped up once they know that you're back on the market.
What floating bantams have you got for him, Max?
Let's see what's in my little red book. I know men who'd give thousands to get just a peep at this. Now, Rosie Banks. No, she's gone in the head. Ingrid Rogers? Yes, Ingrid's a possible hit. 24, 5'9", good breasts and teeth. Blonde Swedish type. Clean, quick, efficient.
Sounds good.
But limited. Too clinical for English tastes. Not flexible enough to earn big. She plays the ice goddess well, but finds it difficult to adjust to other roles.
Oh, that's essential. A whore has to be all things to all men. And if she's a good actress, she can keep her integrity intact. She isn't doing anything. It's the other she. You remember how good Anna was?
Mm-hmm.
One of her best clients liked to set up a table in his bedroom to look like the Last Supper, and she'd come as Mary Magdalene with the veil and the sandals. Another time, she'd have to lie in a coffin and play dead. Well, that took talent for someone as alive as Anna. If she'd waited, she could have been another Dame Sybil Thorndike or worse.
Cross off Swedish Ingrid. Daisy Lucknow's a trim chimer. And she's free.
Ah, yes, with everybody. She'd give it away to every beggar with a hard story. The salt of the earth as a person, but a disaster as a business proposition.
Big Claire O'Hara's floating. All 18 stone of her. She's too much for you to carry at this time, Harry. No offense. Ah! I have it. That and them. The best trim Zazzler now at large. Rita Grass.
That's better. Rita has real potential. She's big booty. She'll never have trouble breaking love.
23, 5'5", brunette, all roll and go, and flexible. Her father used to be a contortionist for Chipperfield. Circus love's her speciality.
Well, isn't she macking with sweet Sam Wilson?
Didn't you hear? Sam came down with a fatal case of death.
I never thought he'd be that considerate.
He refused to pay a gambling debt. First man I ever saw flattened by a steamroller.
Sam and me had a sneering acquaintance, but I didn't know him.
Not to know him was the best. Extortionist. Thief, imposter, liar, slanderer. He was a man with a completely blemished record. So crooked, he'd steal 2 left shoes.
A smile like concentrated vodka.
A guerrilla pimp of the old school. The business is better off without the likes of Sweet Sam.
That's what Rita thought in the end. She was always telling Sam to be more like you. She'd jump at the chance of going into partnership. It'd be a big step up in class for her.
And what about me?
Harry, just talk to her. It's hard not working if you've worked all your life. Suddenly you're redundant, not wanted, not of use. Long days are long and the nights... I know.
It's business, Harry, and in business, if you stand still, you die. Just ring the girl. You don't have to commit yourself. But she's an earner.
No. In this life, all relationships don't have to be based on money. Because Anna isn't earning anymore doesn't mean she has no meaning for me. She does. She does. All the years we were together, I never went catting. No need. She never lost her Zazzle for me. It was reckless eyeballing from the first moment we met. She always made my love come down. Now she's thrust her final thrust. My mind's in mud just thinking about a replacement. Oh, why is life so sad? Gentlemen, there is no question. Like her, I shall be sleeping alone tonight. It's a matter of honor, for my love's sake.
Yes.
Max, ring Rita first thing tomorrow. I'm sure it's what Anna would have wanted.
Delicately done, Harry.
It is indeed.
Gentlemen. A toast. Anna. Unforgettable.
Unforgettable.
Unforgettable. That's what you are. Unforgettable. Though near or far. Like a song of love that clings to me. How the thought of you does things to me. Never before has someone been more unforgettable in every way, and forevermore. That's how you'll stay. That's why, darling, it's incredible that someone so unforgettable thinks that I am unforgettable too.
Sean Connery played Harry, John Hurt, Max, and Donald Pleasence, Tom, in After the Funeral by Peter Barnes, which was directed by Ian Cotterell.